Georgia didn't just lose production. Georgia lost comfort. The easy throws, the familiar targets, the guys gunner Stockton could find when a play started to get messy. A huge chunk of that vanished when the 2025 season ended. Zachariah Branch left after setting Georgia's single-season receptions record with 81 catches for 811 yards and 6 touchdowns. Colby Young was gone. Dylan Bell was gone. Noah Thomas was gone. Oscar Delp was gone too. According to Georgia's official 2025 cumulative stats and reporting from Dawgs 247, that is the core of the pass-catching volume that walked out the door, and it is exactly why this offense entered 2026 with one giant, uncomfortable question hanging over Athens. That question was never whether Georgia still had talent. Kirby Smart always has talent. The real question was where the next reliable mismatch was coming from, because replacing patches is one thing, replacing trust is different. Replacing the guy who bails you out on 3rd and 6, in the red zone, in traffic, when the box is loaded and everybody in the building knows you still need to throw, that takes time. And while a lot of the attention this spring has gone to the young wide receivers and the new names fans want to hype up, the quiet answer may be sitting right in the tight end room, wearing number 23. That is where this gets interesting, because Jaden Reddell does not arrive with the usual superstar noise. He is not the guy people have been building highlight montages around for months. He is not the obvious headline in a room that also includes Lawson Lucky, Elias Williams, Ethan Barber, and a wave of young tight end talent that has people around the program talking about that group like it could become one of the nastiest units on the roster. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Georgia insiders already feel the tight ends could be a much bigger part of the offense in 2026. According to Sports Illustrated's Georgia coverage, Redell has had a strong spring, even with Lucky still being the veteran presence in that room. And that matters, because secret weapons at Georgia usually do not start as the loudest names. They start as the guy who keeps stacking clean practices, the guy coaches trust to line up correctly, block correctly, adjust correctly. And then suddenly, one Saturday, he is the problem the defense cannot fix. That has been the Georgia tight end blueprint for years. We all know what Brock Bowers became. We know what Todd Hartley's room has meant to this offense. The point is not that Redell is Bowers. Nobody should force that comp. The point is that Georgia has a habit of turning versatile tight ends into stress points for a defense, and Redell fits the physical mold of the kind of player who can create that stress. Look at the profile. Georgia's official 2026 roster lists Redell at 6'4" and 240 pounds. His 247 Sports evaluation described him as a flex tight end who was used primarily as a big receiver in high school, someone who could split out, work from the slot, get vertical, and create after the catch. On3's profile went even harder on the upside, pointing to his frame, movement skills, and strong hands. That is not the description of a 6th offensive lineman disguised as a tight end. That is the description of a piece you can move around before the snap and force linebackers and safeties into ugly decisions. People forget that Georgia has been slow cooking this player for a while. He enrolled early in 2024, got spring work immediately, then showed flashes in that first G-Day when Dog Post called him a pass-catching machine and noted 5 catches for 23 yards. In 2025, he appeared in all 14 games, mostly as a blocking tight end and special teams contributor, and logged his first catch as a Bulldog against Charlotte. That stat line is tiny. The role is not. A player who stays active in every game on a Kirby Smart team is usually earning trust somewhere that casual fans do not see. Georgia's official roster page says exactly that. All 14 games, key blocking tight end, special teams work. That is usually the boring resume right before the jump.
And here is the part that makes the "nobody is talking about him" angle feel real instead of forced. The public conversation around this offense has leaned toward the obvious holes: wide receiver turnover, quarterback comfort, young players needing to grow up fast. Dawgs 247 has already framed the wideout room as one counting on inexperienced talent after Georgia had to replace 4 of its top 5 pass catchers at receiver. That is the smoke. Meanwhile, Inside that smoke, the tight end room keeps getting praised, and Reddell keeps popping up as one of the players building momentum this spring. O3 literally listed him among the Georgia players who have built serious momentum. That is not random. That is how these stories start. There is also a football reason this makes sense. Stockton does not need another receiver who wins only one way. He needs body control. He needs size in the middle of the field. He needs somebody who can help on early downs and still become a target when Georgia goes play action or attacks the seam. A tight end who can block enough to keep personnel honest, then slip into open grass, changes the math of an offense. Lawson Lucky is still going to be a major factor, no question. Dawgs 247's returning production breakdown showed Georgia brought back more than half of its tight end snaps, catches, and yards from that room, with Lucky leading the experienced side after Delp's departure. But when a room is this stacked, the defense cannot account for all of it if one more guy becomes trustworthy. That one more guy might be Reddell. You can even see why some reporters are leaning that way. Sports Illustrated's Georgia coverage said Reddell is having a strong spring. Another recent SI piece reminded fans not to forget him and noted that he enters this season with 3 career catches for 27 yards while already having appeared in 18 games over the last 2 seasons. That is a weird profile if you think about it. Barely any box score footprint, but constant exposure to the system, constant practice reps, constant physical development, and now a roster opening where targets have to go somewhere. That is exactly the kind of player who can go from afterthought to weekly talking point in about 3 weeks once the season starts. And let's be honest, part of what makes this dangerous for opponents is that Georgia does not need Reddell to become a 70-catch star to make this whole thing work. He does not have to be the offense. He just has to become the guy defenses forget one time too many. 4 catches in the right moments can wreck a game. 2 red zone touchdowns can change how safeties align for the rest of the night. 1 drive where he moves the chains twice and buries an edge defender on first down can completely change how a coordinator calls the next quarter. That is what a secret weapon actually is. Not the loudest guy, the guy who punishes you for looking somewhere else. That possibility is exactly why the tight end room has people around the program feeling so good about 2026. So, when people say Georgia has an emerging secret weapon that nobody is talking about, this is the name that keeps making more and more sense. Not because he has already done it on Saturdays at a huge volume. He has not. Not because he arrived with 0 pedigree, because he did not. He was a highly regarded recruit, ranked as a top 5 tight end by multiple services coming out of high school. It makes sense because the profile, the development curve, the roster need, and the spring buzz all meet in the same place. And when that happens in Athens, you pay attention before the rest of the country catches up. If Reddell really is that hidden piece, Georgia did not just patch a problem. Georgia may have pulled off the most Georgia move possible. Lose a mountain of receiving production, let everybody panic about the obvious names, then roll into the season with a third-year tight end who suddenly looks like the answer that was sitting there the whole time. Drop your take in the comments. Is Jaden Reddell actually Georgia's next problem for SEC defenses? Or is there another name in this offense you trust more right now?